Hello and welcome to Showstopper Rambles. I'm your host, Showstopper, and today will be another episode review. Specifically, we will be reviewing Amending Fences. Now, you may notice that in this video my voice will flow more smoothly, that I won't hesitate so much, that I won't double back on my words. There will be no ums, uhs, ers, or uhs. This is because I am working off a script. And before you crucify me for going back on how I've been doing these videos, let me explain. I do not make my script at the very beginning. I make my script after recording a full session of me just rambling. Trust me, my first recording is not nearly this smooth. Actually, round 1 was pretty smooth up to this point, but this will probably be the exception that proves the rule. Now, my second recording will be based entirely on what I say in the first recording. I will not add anything, so I forget to say it the first time through. If I miss a joke that I should have said, tough for me. It's my fault for missing it, but hey, that just means that I wouldn't have said it in the first place. This is keeping with the genuine nature of my videos, bringing you 100% me. Just editing out those awkward pauses. So, now that I've explained that, let's get started on the review. First thing I noticed. Spike does chores while Twilight relaxes. Well, at least there's a good reason for it this time. 3 major events in 1 week? That's enough to tire someone out. But then Spike goes and opens his big fat dragon mouth, comparing the Twilight of today with the old Canterlot Twilight who, as we recall from episode 1, was a jerk. A monumental jerk. Thanks a lot, Spike, for reminding her, because now everyone watching realizes, oh great, she's going to freak out, she's going to overreact, and think that she ruined everyone's lives. Sure enough, that's exactly what she thinks. So, what to do but rush off to Canterlot to see Twilight's old friends, whose names she can't even remember. So, we go to Canterlot, and we finally get to see Twilight's old home again. Yay! Her old tower, which has been completely and utterly untouched to the point of neglect. Really, dust gathered everywhere. Predictions and prophecies left open for years. This is a horrible way to leave this place. I mean, was there no caretaker at all? No maid? No one to take care of the place and make sure that it didn't fall into ruins? And oh yeah, Spike. Right, Spike. That makes sense. Though I have to say that it is strange that she never returned for some of those books. I mean, it looks like this was her personal collection, and there might be more books here than were in Ponyville Library. Anyway, we next get a list of Twilight's friends. Lemon Hearts, Moon Dancer, Lyra Heartstrings, Twinkle-Shine, and oh my gosh, they give her a name! Minuet. Not Colgate, not Romana, Minuet. I'll go with that. I will definitely go with that. I never liked that the fans named her after toothpaste, and I have no idea where Romana came from. Probably a reference or something. I don't know. So first they go to Minuet. Gotta say, I like the house, like the design. Nice manner, must be from a pretty important family. They're standing outside, the door opens, and Pinkie Pie 2.0 comes out. It's a slightly less hyper, much more giggly Pinkie Pie. Now, what follows is a scene that had me very, very worried, very concerned when I first saw the episode. Because we immediately see her freaking out over how Twilight's a princess and getting a picture with her and talking about how her work friends didn't believe that she used to be best friends with her. And I immediately feared that this was going to be a whole Twilight's old friends now become all buddy-buddy with her just because she's a princess thing. I was so afraid that that was going to happen, and I am very glad that I was wrong. Instead, they're just surprised and they find it rather exciting, which it is, and they see her as herself. So we get talking with Minuet, Twinkle-Shine, and Lemon Hearts, though apparently Lyra is not in town, having moved to Ponyville a while back. But they're always going back and forth to see each other. An explanation at last. Many reviewers in the past have pointed out, wait, why are we seeing this character here? Why are we seeing that character there? What's going on? I thought they lived here. I thought she lived there. Now we know, at least for these 4, that they're constantly going back and forth to visit. So they get talking together, catching up on old times, and after Lyra was mentioned, I immediately noticed, wait. There were 5 friends mentioned. There was that Moon Dancer that was talked about. Oh dear. They are catching up way too well. Twilight's old friends are taking this way too well, and it's just easy to mend this friendship. Moon Dancer's gonna be the absolute opposite. The entire episode is going to be Moon Dancer's angry at her, or doesn't want to be friends with her. Something along those lines. Which is where the episode went, of course. I've got to say, her old friends were a little bit jerkish to her after she talked about how sorry she was. Especially with the line, it's not like we weren't used to that from you. Ouch. You're basically saying, oh yeah, you were a jerk back then, so really, you running off, ditching us, and never contacting us again? That was pretty much par for the course with you. Wow. Jerk move there. Jerk move. So we finally go to meet Moondancer, who lives in a rundown old shack. I mean, weeds everywhere, the house is falling apart. Is she reclusive, or is she in the depths of poverty? Then again, thinking about it, her personality is basically pre-Ponyville Twilight's. And if Twilight did not have the constant financial support of Princess Celestia, is it not possible that she would be in the same situation? I mean, if all she did was study, how would she support herself? It looks like Moondancer's just barely scraping by, and a lot of people would see it as, I don't know, symbolic of her being a recluse. But actually, this is quite the sad situation. So then we get to see Moondancer herself, who is basically a Twilight clone. This is entirely a what should have been episode. What Twilight could have become. After Moondancer slams the door, we get to more talking, and Minuet reveals that, yeah, she was coming out of her shell a bit. Remember that party she threw? Oh wait, you were busy that day. Flashback to episode 1! I mean, this is the epitome of recycled footage. The episode has so much continuity with episode 1. It's wonderful. So Twilight becomes a stalker, and apparently they've been following Moondancer for 3 days now. That's a little creepy, Twilight. I mean, Spike just goes along with whatever Twilight says. Minuet is too bubbly to even care. But Twilight, really, that's a bit stalkerish. So she goes into the library and tries to talk with her, and gets shushed. She tries to talk to her after creating a soundproof bubble, which is really cool. Moondancer pops it. They get shushed. Moondancer goes to get a book from the bookcase, and as we all knew would happen, Twilight's face was right behind it, and as we all knew would happen, Moondancer puts it back. Finally, Twilight jumps into the book that Moondancer is reading. And I've got to say, that would be a wonderful spell to have. Me being an avid reader, I wish I could use that spell. To be able to be in the book itself, experiencing it. I also love the design of Sketch Twilight. Book Twilight. Sketchbook Twilight? Sure. Sketchbook Twilight. I'll go with that. So they start talking, and Moondancer asks, how are you even in there? And Twilight gets that knowing smirk of, hey, I've got you now. So they begin bonding again over studying, over books, over their love of reading, and that's how you do it. That's how you build friendships or restore friendships over a common interest. You find that common interest and you talk about it. You build everything from there. And Twilight basically bribes Moondancer with that studying spell to sit down with all their old friends. And since Moondancer doesn't actually want to be there, there is awkwardness all around. So what do they know about Moondancer? That she studies! So they ask her what she's been studying. Science, magic, history, economics, pottery, stuff like that. Yeah, stuff like that. The first four fit together a bit, but pottery? Really? We've got a serious case of arson, murder, and jaywalking here. So the focus shifts to Twilight and past stories, which Moondancer shuts down immediately. Or how Lemonhearts plans events at Candlelight Castle, which Moondancer has no interest in. She leaves, Twilight teleports in front of her to try to get her to stay, and Moondancer tosses Twilight behind her with her telekinesis. Now, I've got to say this. Oh my gosh! The amount of magic in this episode! This is why I wish we could have more episodes in Canterlot. Wow, I said that like I've been saying this for a long time. Which I have been to myself, but y'all haven't heard it. Anyway, I want more Canterlot episodes because magic is everywhere. Adjusting one's glasses. With magic. Opening doors. With magic. Rudely shoving past someone. With magic. It's awesome! Anyway, Twilight decides to bring in the heavy artillery to solve this problem. And by heavy artillery, I mean Pinkie Pie. Who better to get ponies to smile? At first I feared for the stability of the universe with Minuet and Pinkie getting together. I mean, the world can only take so much bubbly, happy, smiling, giggly laughter in one place before it implodes. However, no cracks in the universe appear when they met, and it turns out they already knew each other. Obviously, this means the universe has already imploded and rebuilt itself stronger than it was before. Probably a few times. This is probably like the fourth universe or something. Pinkie gets off a jerk line once again, emphasizing how Twilight's not as perfect at the whole friendship thing as she thought, and they prepare a party for Moondancer. But the question remains, how do they get her to go? By leaving a trail of increasingly boring books for her to follow. Books with such riveting titles as A Brief History of Cardboard, and The Life and Times of What's-His-Name the Forgettable, and Mendacity. The trail leads her to a park where there's a party! Moondancer is less than enthusiastic. And here Twilight makes a mistake. She gives the unicorn with a grudge against her a baseball bat. Wonderful idea there, Twilight! Thankfully, Moondancer refrains from splattering Twilight's brains all over the park, and instead breaks down sobbing. Twilight consoles, and we are left with many iterations of the weirdest face in the series. I'm sorry. I know that a lot of people find Moondancer's scrunchy face to be cute, but I personally can't stand it. It then wraps up about how you'd expect. The party goes well, friendships are restored, and Twilight and Moondancer kiss. Wait. No, that's just the 500 plus shipfics that are surely coming out. Seriously. What is it with these writers making me want to ship Twilight? First it was Sunlight for Rainbow Rocks. Now we've got Moonlight? Oh. Huh. Maybe that's why. The power of shipping names. Well, that's it for my review. Now for the fanfic ideas. We've got fewer this time around than for Princess's Dream of Magic Sheep. First, let's see a couple of sad tragedy fics where Moondancer did beat Twilight bloody or even to death, and go on from there. Add a sprinkling of Lemonheart's perspective of what it's like to work in Candlelock Castle, a dash of Minuet Pinkie Pie shenanigans, and top it off with some backstory on Moondancer's big sister. Another sister. Seriously, can we please get a younger brother or something? Please? I know we have Big Mac, but he rarely speaks. I know we have Shining Armor, but he's rarely around. Can we please have someone with a brother? Anyway, that's it for this episode. This has been Showstopper Rambles. I'm Showstopper. See you next time, and until then, keep being awesome.